my family's journey, well, first of all, I am originally from Colombia in South America. And I think my journey started maybe in 1970s when my dad decided to come to migrate. He had this, he used to say he had this like sailor soul, like he had to explore. He wanted to discover what else was out there. So he first went to a country in Central America, and he stayed there for a few years. Then he decided he wanted to continue his journey and come to this country, the country of dreams. So he did. He loved so much the ocean. His name was Marina, pure coincidence. And he wanted to be in a boat. So somehow he found a way to work for one of the largest cruise lines in this country. And he worked there for I don't know how many years, but he enjoyed it. He loved it. He ended up in one of the Carolinas, northern South Carolina. And at the time, this was it was definitely late 70s. He worked, probably he did everything. I don't think he was not officially a legal immigrant in this country, but he was a hard worker. And he just wanted to build a better future for himself and for his family, for his children. So he worked the best he could, and he got the word that at the time in Massachusetts there were a lot of textile companies that needed hardworking people, and Lowell is known for one of the textile towns in Massachusetts, and there were a lot of mills at the time, and that's where he started. He started working in the mills, as a textile employee. And all these companies, they gave immigrants an opportunity. I'm not sure of the, how the legal part went, but, they got their job. They were hard workers, and he was one of those employees that, worked hard. And many years went by, and he always had a dream that he wanted me to come to this country. Many attempts to get the visa, and they failed. Finally, for fifth time, I got my visa. This is many years later, right after I finished high school. So I got my visa, and I came to this country. So I was very lucky. I came to this country. His dream was for me to have an education. Although I could have that education in my country, he thought I would have more opportunity here, and there were more doors open for me. I studied here. I knew some grammar, like English grammar, but I didn't speak a word in English. It was very hard. I felt shy. I could not express myself. And you go through a lot of experiences. People are very helpful. Other people are, may not be so helpful, and, they make you feel welcome, others not. But I think in general, most people make you feel very welcome. And I never felt, I'm very grateful. I never felt that I did not belong here. I loved it. I started working hard. I remember my first job, I used to make $5.75 an hour. And I started working for the same company my dad used to work when he first arrived to Lowell, Massachusetts, which was the textile company. I used to go to school in the morning to learn ESL, English as a second language. This mill was right behind the building where my school was. So I would finish classes, have something light to eat for lunch, and walk, because I didn't have a car. I walked to this mill, and I worked in this factory, putting yarns, and I learned how to do all that thing my dad used to do. So I did everything my dad did at a lower scale, but that was my full-time job from 2 to 10 p.m. every single day of the week. It was interesting. I went up little by little, and then I went to college, decided years later that I didn't want to be working in the mills, and I had more opportunities, so why not explore? So I did that, and I went to engineering school, and I got my skills that I am not using right now. But as my father said, there will be more doors open for you to explore. And there were many winters that I had to walk in the snow because I had no car and I had no money to, I just barely had to, survive because, it wasn't easy. But it was an experience. And then I went on to work for a company that I used to assemble PC boards, which was very fun. It was like putting together a puzzle, but I saw myself that I could spend my whole life working there, and that's not what I wanted. So yeah, I moved on, and one day I said, I'm just going to get a job starting from zero. And I worked at a very fancy restaurant as a bus girl, bussing tables, which is not very easy. And that's how I started to get more familiar with the language. My ear was getting more used to hearing like people speaking English. And it was an experience. I mean, every day you will learn something different. The more you put yourself out there, the more people are willing to help you. And I was very lucky. It's just been a journey that I am very proud of.